Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shadow Sessions Paranormal. Today we're here with two of my very special friends. We have Lisa and Holly from Mystic Haunts.
Hey everybody.
Do you guys want to give everybody a quick introduction about yourself, how you guys came to be Mystic Haunts?
Yeah, I can start. So I created Mystic Haunts probably, I don't remember what month it was, but it was in 2024. I want to say maybe a little bit towards the end. Holly, do you remember exactly?
Oh, August was that last hunt together as, so I would probably say September.
Yeah,
It's like right when we started.
Yeah.
September, October.
cool. Yeah. I actually had a different business prior to. It was an event company just like Mystic Haunts. My partner went a different way. And then, of course, I still wanted to be involved in doing events for the guests and stuff like that. So I created Mystic Haunts. I actually asked Holly to partner up with me because I just love the way that she investigates with the guests. And she is very similar to myself. So we kind of really just had that connection right away. So she was the very first person that I thought of that would be a great asset to Mystic Haunts.
Perfect.
I asked her, and she of course said yes, and I am super thankful because she is awesome. And my guests and the location owners, they love her too. They got to see her in action with the very first event that I had her come on and actually assist in being one of the investigators. And I got nothing but great compliments on her, how she investigates. So I kind of just, like I said, I had an event company before and I really didn't want to give it up because it's my passion. I'm military Air Force by day, and then I'm paranormal investigator by night. So that's a little bit about myself.
What does
That's the double life.
what's the Air Force think about the paranormal aspect of what you do?
What is the Air Force? What do I do for the Air Force?
Or I guess what do your colleagues in the Air Force think about your paranormal double life?
I just introduced myself to my squadron, several different states, and my commander. We had like the Zoom thing for a few hours, and it said one little interesting thing about you. And I told them, and all their eyes just got really big. They're like,
Yeah.
"What?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's really cool." Some people are super interested in wanting to do it. The other ones just think I'm crazy.
Yeah, that's why I was curious. Both my parents are Navy, and I was curious what they what your colleagues thought. So
yeah,
My husband's Army, and he also thinks I'm crazy for multiple reasons. But
you
mostly
are,
this.
but it's not a bad thing.
we're all a little crazy to do this, but
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Holly, it's your turn. How'd you get into this?
Well, honestly, I will tell you, I am not into horror movies. I'm not into actual haunted, like attraction houses. I'm very much a scaredy cat. And
Same.
It was like, you believe in it, and then something happens, and then you're like, I can't take it away. And so I'm not big into seeing like shadows, and I don't really love being touched, but I'm all about equipment and the thought of what's making it do that. So it was literally, I finally dived in after several things happened in my house. Like literally I had someone call me down my hallway by name, and I thought it was my boys just being irritated that I didn't answer to mom. So finally they said Holly, and I said, okay, just a minute, let me finish what I'm doing, because I work from home. And I turned, got out of my chair, went to walk, and I'm like, oh, I'm the only one here. Wait a minute, who just called my name down the hall? Like, and so then I didn't want to leave my office for the remainder of my life.
For the remainder of my life.
So now it's just a curiosity. It's just sheer curiosity, and I'm like sympathetic, because if I was somebody stuck, or not necessarily stuck, but like in a location and able to talk to people and just alone, I would want somebody to come talk to me. Even if that you weren't telling my story, you were just coming to talk to me. Tell me what's going on. That's kind of how I feel. So that's what got me into it. I stumbled across Lisa with her other company, and I just loved them. Actually, the very first time we ever met was at FCI, so good thing we're going to talk about that. And I am honored that she sees in me the ability to do it. I feel like we're yin and yang, because I'm like super planner and she's super chill, so we go really well together.
That's
So
like
cool.
Brevin and us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
You're
helpful.
the planner. and
I
we just-
plan
Not saying she's plan. I'm
literally everything.
Yeah.
Caleb shows up and he's super supportive, but
It's
he's
Brevin
like,
plans everything and drives to everything. I edit everything and post everything.
How
Just
cool.
look
And
good.
Caleb provides the house for our studio and shows up. But we love him for it.
Isn't it always really ironic how, you know, the paranormal investigators, all of us, we go to these places and we want to have these experiences and see everything. But then the second is like, I heard something in my house. We're like, absolutely not. I'm not going to go open that door. I don't want to see what's out there.
Right.
We
Well,
want to
and that
go
was-
see it at someone else's house, but not our own. We're like, nope,
Right.
we're going
I
to
would
stay at this
believe it,
location.
and I would test it out at my house, and then I'm like, I'm noticing that they get a little bit more active now. Never mind.
Yep.
my wife doesn't let me test equipment in the house and doesn't really let it in the house, actually. So really funny side story. We investigated. So I've been investigating for several years. Really, really good friend of mine introduced me, and we started investigating, and we had done the Hinsdale house in New York. I don't know if you guys have been up there. If you haven't, definitely add it. It is absolutely outstanding. My buddy collects creepy dolls, and he has this doll that's been in his family for like 100 years. Like, it's super, super old, and we left it inadvertently at the Hinsdale house. And I had been talking to Dan, trying to get it back, and we just kept like missing each other. And 2023, I think, me and 5 of my friends, we decided to, and this was before I started doing stuff with shadow sessions, we did a road trip. We drove to Virginia City, Nevada to investigate the Washoe. And while we're out there, my wife calls me and she's like, hey, you have a box from Hinsdale, New York that like got delivered. And she's like, do you want me to open it? And I'm like,
Don't open
oh,
it.
fuck, don't open the box. Put it in the garage. And she's like, what? Why? And I said, that's a 100-year-old doll that just spent a year and a half inside the Hinsdale house.
Oh
And
my
The
God.
spirit cannot walk through a garage door.
It makes her feel
works.
it
but
makes her feel
it's true.
better, but she was like, you asshole. She's like, why didn't you tell me it was being delivered? And I said, I didn't even know it was being delivered. But yeah, my wife is she's gone on a couple investigations, but she's very, very skeptical and enjoys the time with the bed to herself when I go and investigate. But
But I also do love that they can't come through the garage door, because for real, they can't come through my bedroom door. Like, in my brain, that's my safe space.
It's
You can't come
amazing
in.
how it works. They
Yeah,
can-
it's
if I have my blankets tucked underneath my legs, nothing
Yes.
can
Yeah.
can reach up. It can reach up, but it's like, oh damn, he's
safe.
He's
The boogeyman
under the
can happen
blanket.
As long as you jump in your
It's-
bed and fully
it's the
cover up.
rules of paranormal.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a movie where a girl jumps into her bed and like pulls the blanket over her, and whatever demon or paranormal activity pulls her out from the bed. And I was like, nope, this is completely fake now, because
fake.
that is against the rules of
Mhm.
anything paranormal. The bed is the safe space, and the house is supposed to be the safe space.
Yeah.
But I just think that's so funny.
I love that they met at FCI and we met at FCI.
Oh,
FCI just brings people together.
Did Olivia tell you guys
Olivia?
that story? Olivia?
God. No,
Cool story.
It was my senior year, and my graduation got delayed, and my uncle flew in, and we like grew up like watching paranormal stuff and like sharing experiences with each other, etc. And he lives in Myrtle Beach, and so my graduation got pushed back because it was outdoors due to rain, and we were like, well, damn, you're in town, like let's go find something to do. So we're like, haunted places near Columbus, and it's like Fairfield County Infirmary. So we're like, sure, let's go. And Bravin is our tour guide. One thing led to another, and then it's like, okay, now we're best friends. And he texts me, he's like, it's like a week later, he's like, hey, you want to come investigate this Madison Seminary place 3 hours away? I got a van and everything. And I'm like, sure. And now I'm here. And then I met Caleb at that trip, and now we're this.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
The FCI just brings people
We're
together. I love
this
it.
dysfunctional trio. So Lisa, I've got a question regarding Mystic Haunts. I've always been really curious about how you go about setting up a kind of like reserving a location
Mhm.
to and promoting it as like a Mystic Haunts event. Because like I know for like myself, when I'm looking for a location for like shadow sessions, or if I'm just looking for something fun, I know like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and pay whatever fee it is for a private, and then go
Right.
at it from that way. What does that process look like for you guys from like an event space? Do you guys have to go through like a different process? Is there different costs involved? I've been really curious about that side.
Yeah, it typically depends on the location, right? So it's been both ways. I reach out to locations, of course, all like Adam Kimmel, Addie, all of their locations. I've worked with them since I worked with Ghost Hunts USA way back in the day. So I was very familiar with those people. So that networking and them, trusting a company to come in, I would just, message. I think it's like, don't quote me, like we have to do it like in January. Like I'll talk to Addie, she'll open up the calendars and we'll look. And then
Okay.
we'll kind of reserve at that point. So it's different for most locations. Rainworth Lodge, they actually reached out to me because they saw my stuff on social medias. And they said, hey, we would really love to have you come out here. It's a set price. This is how much it is. They charge me the same as they would, I guess, as a private, but I keep all funds, like if I generate more money, which
Oh,
I
that's
can have
cool.
to feed people. Right. So I really don't do it for the money. It's nice for travels and hotels and stuff like that, but really to give back to the locations and put that money into restoring them. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
just booking them, I'll just reach out to, if it's just somebody that I don't know and I'm interested, I will just reach out to them and I'll say, hey, I'm an event company. I have a resume. This is what it looks like. You could talk to these people, whatever it may be. Here's all my social medias. Kind of just give them the background of who we are. That way they don't think, we're just somebody that is not trustworthy, right? We do
That
this
makes
to help
sense.
out. Yeah. So I just email them and I'll say, hey, do you guys do events and how does that work? And then they'll send me an email right back and they'll tell me how it works and what the costs and the fees are and stuff like that. And we just go from there.
Perfect. Yeah, I
Awesome.
was always really curious. I mean, I didn't think that it was some like crazy elaborate process, but I didn't know like if you have to say, hey, like we're an event group and we want to do this, that, and the other.
Mhm.
Not that I've been thinking about doing events, shadow sessions, guys,
That,
but
Okay.
I
yeah,
was just curious.
it's important to
I mean, you
always
do.
front, like
Yeah.
if you want to host an event, because you're making money, right? And so you have to let them know. Because if you pay a flat price for like a private, right? I could make a lot of money out of selling tickets to 50 people.
Yeah.
Right.
Make sense? So like you have to be upfront with, and they've had people try to just different locations have had people try to kind of be sneaky about it. And
Yeah.
yeah, not fair.
I feel like that kind of ruins it for other people.
Mhm.
I guess I have a follow question. Do you guys kind of set like a cap on how many people you open it up to based off of location, or
Yeah.
does the location kind of set that for you?
I ask them, I'll always I'll talk to them on the phone and I'll say, hey, what is your comfortable number? Right.
Gotcha.
Okay, we can max out at X, Rainworth Lodge is 15 comfortably, potentially 20. So I won't go over 15 because I want my
Gotcha.
guests to have that experience that's a little bit more intimate and personal. I don't want to do
Gotcha.
it oversaturate and be just compacted together. You know what I mean? I want to be known
That
for
makes
that. And that's
sense.
what we did with our last company.
Yeah, I was curious because Caleb and I also more recently we I also give tours at the Licking County Jail
Nice.
in Newark, and I actually was. You guys know who Jeff Fent is?
Of course, I love Jeff.
Excellent. So Jeff Fent actually reached out to Darren, who manages the Licking County Jail, and said, "Hey, I have a guy. He's a guide at Fairfield. He'd be perfect for the jail." So, and then the other guy stepped away, so Caleb got to jump in. But there was it was like Haunted Rooms America or something like that, or one of the
Yeah,
there's
I
so
know.
many groups, but they came
Conrad
in.
USA. So
I
yeah, I
I
know what you're talking about.
think
Yeah.
they put 30 people, like 30 guests plus the five
Yes.
employees and Darren and myself in that in the jail. The jail is only 11,000 square feet, and it was a ton of people. So I was really curious because like after that, the guy that manages the groups was like, hey, like how do you think it went? And the first thing Darren said was there were too many people. There were way too many people. Like
For that size,
usually comfortably we say no more than like 8 to 10 people. And even then that's like really pushing it. And they had almost 4 times that amount of people. So it was, and that's why I was curious. Cause like every place is different. I know from like a private perspective at Fairfield, it's up to 10 people, and then every person over 10 is like X amount. So I was just really curious about that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I always ask like, what's comfortable there. And I might go just a little bit below that. You know what I mean? Just for the guests to have a good experience. They're paying good money for it. You know what I mean?
What has been, so you said that you did this before Mystic Haunts. What do you think is probably the favorite location that you guys have done a tour at? We're always looking for new places to go to. So this is kind of like for my curiosity, but also let's make a mental note and maybe I can get spooky, or we can get spooky somewhere else.
I have a favorite. It's Indiana State Sanatorium.
Oh, easy. That would
My
okay.
girl.
I do. It's just I've been to that place probably more than 30 times.
Wow.
So it is, I'm very familiar with the spirits, and I'm very comfortable. It's just like, I don't know, my second home. It's 6 hours away from where I live, and I just do it. And I posted so many events there, but I feel that is my favorite because I've been there the most and I'm most familiar with the spirits. I hate to even say that's my favorite because I love a lot,
Yeah.
That's my top dog.
Holly, what about you?
Terrifies me, but I will work it.
What do you think is your favorite place that you've been to so far, Holly?
Obviously, I am newer to this, but I have been with tons of other people, like at events. One of my favorites was West Virginia Penitentiary.
Okay.
But I also am a strong believer in the people that you're around. You could literally have nothing happening and it be wonderful if you're with the right people.
100%.
And so, but again, just like Lisa, I have been to absolutely wonderful places. So it's very hard to pick a favorite. I do feel at home at FCI, even though this last time you scared me just a little bit. Good thing I couldn't hear everything.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But Madison gives me a different vibe every time I'm there. Sometimes it's horrifying. Sometimes it's just as welcoming as can be. But I just, and like I think, well, I take it back. I might have to take back my statement. I went to McIntyre Villa.
Hashtag deleted.
Absolutely nuts. So, I can't wait to try to get back out to Kansas, actually, sometime.
What was it?
McIntyre Villa was amazing, so I can't wait to get back out to Kansas.
Valley House is amazing out there. Missouri State Penitentiary is going to be a runner-up, I think, for me. I've been there.
Sally House is great. So when we did that trip out, we drove all the way out to Virginia City. It took us 3 days. We investigated the Washoe and then the Mackey Mansion back to back, and then drove back. And I feel kind of guilty about this because obviously Sally House is maintained by the Chamber of Commerce for Atchison or Atchison, Kansas. They called me and said, hey, we see that you guys are a team, because at that point I was investigating with a group called Your Paranormal, and they're like, well, there's a location called the Green Man Theater in Atchison, Kansas, and it's an old like Presbyterian or Pentecostal church or something like that, and it's haunted. And the guy was like, he wants someone to come in and they want to kind of get a feeling for it before they start like promoting it through the Chamber of Commerce. And she's like, we'll knock off like $60 off of your charge for Sally. And we went and we investigated, and we were there for like 3 hours, and it was more active than we thought, but we sat on the footage and then we forgot about it.
Can I ask you a question? Was it a weeknight?
It was a Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a Saturday during the day, because like the way that we had like planned the trip, I like to plan. So I had planned this trip for like a year and had it down to like the cent. But I feel really guilty because we were supposed to put something together and then we never did. So shame on me. But Sally House is fantastic.
Yeah.
It for me, I thought it was great. I thought that there was a little bit of a difference between some of the hype that other people have said, but then again, that's the same thing with pretty much every location. Like
Well,
you can
Right.
walk into a location. Like Caleb and I went to the Monroe House in Indiana and literally had nothing happen.
Same.
Oh,
We were there
really?
for 6 hours.
Oh.
Like we left
Nothing
early,
at all.
but
I mean,
the second time we
I
went,
had
it
the
was
same
off
thing
the
at
hook.
Monroe House. I went and read my book and went to bed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never
I
know
ran
what you're
out
getting.
of
It's
the
all
Sally
rolling the
House.
dice.
It was my first
Nice.
running out of a place. It was the Sally House. I ran far and I ran fast.
I ran out of Madison.
Did
I ran
you?
out of Madison.
I
Remember
probably could have
when we
been.
ran out of FCI last
We're
weekend?
getting to that. We're getting to that. We're building.
I
We're
know,
building
I know.
suspense.
I was just reminding them of our trauma.
I
We're
mean, I was going to kick Olivia down the
Domino's
stairs
was our
at
trauma.
Old Hospital.
Oh, I forgot.
have you guys
Domino's
done
was trauma.
Old Hospital in College Hill?
No, but I want to.
Oh my god. That building. So
I'm not fast, but Olivia's not
Okay,
faster.
You
than
don't
me.
have to
She's
be the
not
fastest.
No,
moving in
listen.
time.
You just-
Shut up. For reference, okay? We had.
you
a
forget that I can
shut
mute
up.
you over here.
Ah, I have a loud voice. Your mic will pick me up. For reference, we had a crazy ass night. We filmed a video, which all of our footage got lost, by the way.
Hashtag corrupted.
Yeah,
Dang.
completely corrupted. We filmed a video, and then I filmed stuff on my phone for like reels and whatever for our page, my page, and then my camera, so I can have photos to use for like thumbnails, etc.
And our video camera.
I said that because we were filming a video. If you would listen, so I had the video camera, my phone, and my actual camera. Expensive shit, and a
Mhm.
light. So
I had the
and I
light.
had a
Calm
blanket
down.
around me. So I'm like,
stupid.
So you
geared
should have been
up.
safe. The blanket was on.
You would think,
It
but
was
I'm
not.
like, you can't be safe at Old Hospital. There's no safe space besides the toilet. But
That's not even safe.
honestly, no. But I'm geared up, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go film some content, but I don't want to go alone. And Bravin's like, go, you bitch. And I'm like, no, someone's going with me. So Caleb's like, all right, I'll go. We go up to the top floor where the OR rooms are. And so like the OR rooms are on one side, and then it's just like a hallway down the other, and there's still equipment, like machines, and some have like beds and just like all these different things. And we heard,
No, we were on the 3rd floor. We weren't even up by the OR yet.
I thought it was the same floor.
No,
Mm-mm.
we were
Oh.
we were on the 3rd floor.
I love that Caleb can correct her, but Brevin
Someone
cannot.
has to.
My nickname is Bitch Boy Bravin.
And it's for a reason. It's Triple B.
Triple B.
Triple B.
That's
But-
funny.
Yeah, like hang on. One thing. You ever see those videos where it's like if you call one friend and they immediately give you shit or make fun of you within 30 seconds, you win like $1 million? These two, I'm about to be a millionaire because I'll
How-
answer the phone and they'll be like, "Did you fall down the stairs, you cripple ass bitch," or something like that, like something stupid. So, but continue.
At
That's
least
awesome.
they'll answer.
It was, we heard this we heard knocks and stuff at first, but then we hear this weird chime sounding thing, and
I think it's the noise a ventilator machine works. Like I'm a nurse. I work at a hospital.
Yeah.
So hearing that, like that when you turn on the ventilator, that initial like 3 beeps, and it was the same noise that I've heard.
Mhm.
The last time we were there.
But we
Yeah.
hear it. But so we hear the knocks first, and I look at Caleb, and Caleb doesn't really get scared. Like, it takes a lot to scare this man,
Mhm.
or for him to be like it takes a lot. That's why I'm like, okay, I feel safe. Like, 1, I have a blanket on, but 2, I have Caleb with me. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'll be fine. I look over, and Caleb goes, I don't fucking know. And I'm like, okay, for you to say that, that's not good. Now I'm
Right.
scared. That's not good. So it stops. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to pan in this room. I'm going to take a picture. I turn back, and then you hear like and and then it's do 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 do, and I look over and I'm like, I wanted to look over at Caleb and be like, what the fuck? Caleb's
said,
gone.
Bye.
Caleb's running. Caleb is just running. He's running down a dead end hallway. I'm like, where are you going? The stairs over here. So I'm running down the stairs at this point. I'm holding on everything. I have the blanket. Caleb's trampling me down. The blanket falls, everything. He's like, move, bitch. I'm going to leave you. They're going to get you. Just fucking move. And so him and then our friends Vanessa and Morgan are downstairs at the base, and they're like, what is going on? We're like, I don't know.
I ain't going back up
for
there.
me to look over, and I'm like, it's a split second of, oh my God, Caleb ran.
We call that fight or flight.
Like
and I was flying.
that place is fucking gross. Gross.
If
grotesque.
you guys get the chance, that old hospital is Madison and Old Hospital flip back and forth between my favorite place that I've ever been. And Caleb and I have been twice. So we went with me, our friend Morgan again, and then our friend Tyler. We went at the beginning of last year, and then we managed to go again in December of last year. And you know, like when you hear stories from people, because I mean, you guys interact with a lot of people doing your events, you're like, the activity was nonstop. Like we were hearing knocking and walking, and they're like, and that's it. And you're like, yeah. When we tell you it was non-stop activity from the moment we walked in to the moment we left, it was doors slamming, people walking down hallways, talking, stuff moving. We left an audio recorder down on the first floor, took the 100-year-old elevator up to the 4th floor. Within 10 minutes, you hear people walking up to the voice recorder. You hear a distinct conversation between a man and a woman. You hear hustle and bustle of a hospital floor, doors shutting. Like it, absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers.
You gotta go.
You have to. And let us know when you go, because we'll go with you. Because
we need an excuse to go back.
Yes.
You're gonna have to like trick me and tell me we're going someplace else. Just give me the address and pray.
Holly,
that
we're going on a long road trip that's going to be really fun and very scenic to go get a shit ton of garlic knots.
Because this sounds terrifying.
We're gonna get in the van, Holly. We're gonna go get garlic knots.
Get in the van. There's puppies and candy.
There's garlic
So
knots.
I'll tell you one little quick story, and then we'll get back to you guys, because you guys are like the important part of the podcast episode.
Yeah, not you.
Shut up.
The Furby.
Maybe two things. So the second time we went, they have so you know in Project Fear when they locked Dakota in the body cooler?
Yeah.
We also did the same thing to Olivia, but we put her under Estes and put her in the body cooler. And then we put a REM pod right outside. Now, mind you,
this whole time I'm half asleep and like I'm still like hearing and saying what's coming through. I feel like nothing's coming through, and I'm just like in my head, I'm just like, I'm in a body cooler. It's kind of comfy.
And
like I felt safe in a unclean body
this footage
cooler,
is gone. Like this was the corrupt footage. REM pod out in front of her is going absolutely crazy. Her responses are full sentences. Her responses and the REM pod are corresponding to a music box going off in the hallway. And I'm like walking up to the REM pod and I'm like, hey, like I need you to step away or I'm going to reset it. And Caleb can attest because he saw it. My hand was maybe like 6 inches away from the reset button. And Olivia from inside the cooler goes, stop right there, back away, do not touch. And I'm like, oh shit.
What?
Yeah.
100%.
And then what was that? I was like hallway, and then the music box in the hallway went out.
Yep.
Vanessa got scratched, and she's talking about her scratch, and I was like, red.
Well, because Caleb was like, hey, your neck looks a little, and Olivia goes, red.
Everything correlated
so we
so
were
much.
Before the footage got corrupted, we were able to. We took the SD card home. Bravin was able to put it on his MacBook and put it up on the TV because he wanted me to see the Estes session. So I watch it. Everything's fine. I'm like, oh my God, whatever. Like SD
we were about
fine.
to hit 1 million views with this video. Mm-hmm. We were about to be famous.
So we had the SD card and we took it somewhere and we got a new camera.
We took it to Madison.
Well, that's probably why it fucking corrupted. We put it in the camera and it's like, oh, you not found. No SD card found.
everything lost.
Like the other girl's camera at Fairfield where it would work in the the break room.
Yeah.
but-
Oh, that was weird. There were these two girls, the same two girls that'll be in this
Be in
main
the story later.
Yeah. They had this Polaroid camera, really cool, like the big rectangle ones, and they wanted a picture on two sitting on the main staircase.
Oh yeah.
So they just took a Polaroid picture of Holly and Lisa for them.
Worked
Like,
fine.
you guys want a Polaroid? Like, everything's fine. Worked. I go to take a picture of them. And I'm like, okay, this is embarrassing. Like, am I clicking the right thing? So I'm like trying. I'm like, it's not working. And they're like, oh, it's this button. I'm like, that's what I'm clicking.
They're
So
literally
like,
telling her she's
I'm like,
doing.
I'm like, I'm like, Lisa, Holly, like, you guys can try
No,
this
Lisa was
camera.
gone.
Oh, then Holly. I was like,
She
Holly.
was with the guys.
Yeah.
like,
I was like, Holly, you can
I don't
You can
remember
try
where
to
you
use
were
this
before we
camera.
run, but
and it still wouldn't work. So then the girls are like, okay, well, maybe it doesn't work. We go back and up front, the camera works.
we had to get batteries.
So
or
we
something.
went back and forth like 5 times. It would work anywhere else, but not the staircase on 2. So finally, somehow we got it to work, but it was the one girl was like sitting and then the other girl was standing. When they flipped, they were able to get the Polaroid picture.
I would also like to state that when it finally worked is when I got the message from Domino's, so I ran outside. So it's all connected, I think.
To Domino's.
No,
Domino's is the problem.
no.
I'm telling you, like the spirits, if they want to be on film, they'll
I
be
don't know
on
if you're
film.
listening. I'm
they
sorry.
don't.
Right.
They will find ways to mess with your footage and your
Well,
cameras.
we were
your
telling
equipment.
them, we were
Yeah,
like,
they
you
were-
guys can be in the picture. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
They
Like
don't
So-
always want to be.
So before we dive into Fairfield, because I know Olivia's been itching to talk about this, what has been the craziest experience? If it's Fairfield, we'll just dive right into it. But what has been the craziest experience you guys have had in any location that you've been so far? I love hearing people's like wildest stories because 1, I'm like, that's fucked up, and 2, it's just like that's really fucked up, and I love to hear it.
Man, I have so many.
If you have
like,
a couple,
put me on the
we've got
spot.
time.
Yeah, mine's gonna be, and I got all of this on film. There's
Sick. Even
there's
better.
3 like different instances at ISS, right? And Fairfield's gonna be, honestly, it's gonna be on that list as well. But we'll talk about that. That one was definitely. But anyways, so Indiana State Sanatorium. I have it, like I said, I have it on my TikTok and stuff like that. On Mr. Khan's TikTok. We were setting up for Ghost Hunt USA this a couple years ago, and I'm down in the cafeteria area. There's two girls with me. We were setting up, getting ready for our guests. Nobody was on the property but us. And then all of a sudden, it was snowing outside. It was very cold. We had a cat. We called him Dexter, and he had a cat ball in his mouth, like glued. So we would use that for, trigger object. So we're just setting up, getting our snacks ready. All of a sudden, Dexter goes off. So I'm standing there just with my phone. I love just recording, just recording, whatever. So I'm just like, oh, thanks, Dexter. We really appreciate it. And then my friend says, is there somebody outside? Because we heard snow crunching, like, could have been an animal. So we don't know. And and then all of a sudden, this dark hallway, you hear a door slam. So it's like, Dexter, okay, the window, and now the door in the hallway that's completely pitch black, and there's a door just slams, right? So, and then our friend that was behind us in the hallway, another hallway, she's like, guys, come here. And I'm like, full circle, right? So then we come over there, and I stop, and it's quiet, and you hear footsteps. It's just like, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, okay, is there somebody here? Is there somebody here, Olivia, Holly? Is there somebody here? So that happened. That was really scary. That was years and years ago.
Where were you guys at when that happened?
So we were
because we've all been to ISS, so I'm curious where that happened.
Do you know where the nurses station hallway is? The entry point.
Of course, it's the nurses station hallway.
That is
Of course, it's in the nurses station.
Hallway. Yeah, like above. That's where it happened, and that happens so often in that area. Like when you walk in
I
that door,
can't.
and then the right
I
is
have
nurse
PTSD.
station, left is a cafeteria. That little area that you walk in. Think about how many people walked in and out of that place in that specific area. Nobody investigates that area. I highly suggest it. That's a little secret. That was one. What else? I
Where
took,
I'm gonna sit next weekend.
yeah,
Makes
you
one of you.
should. It's really cool.
This
I have a lot of guests do that.
on the it's
And
gonna be.
then, hmm?
That's why I said Olivia should come to ISS on the 31st because it's gonna be
Oh, it's
awesome.
gonna be-
So I don't know if I'll be able to or not.
She has a prior commitment.
That's cool. It's okay.
But it's ISS.
I too,
You have a
but
prior commitment.
I do.
I think the other one was I could tell ISS stories all day. But there was another one. What is the jail that Addie used to manage? Olivia, do you know which one?
The old city jail
Yes.
down in Illinois.
Yes. So we went there. Chris Baird, do you know Chris Baird, Jasco, all those
Mhm.
people? So
Yep. We've had Chris on the show before.
Oh, cool. Chris and I, we that was the first time we were doing like a trifecta. We were doing that, we were doing ISS and Billy Creek or something like that. First time we ever like got together and just like collabed together. So we're setting up at that jail. Never been there before, didn't know anything about it. And then all of a sudden we were starting to get ready. It was getting dark and it started hailing. Literally just started hailing. Lightning, it was crazy. Chris was like, yo, can I just leave? And I'm like, no, dude.
I don't want to be here anymore.
He was like, I'm like, this is perfect weather. The energy, the lightning, you know what I mean? Like I was through the rain. So I'm downstairs. He's upstairs with my partner. They're just filming and I'm filming downstairs. All of a sudden, you hear the tornado sirens go off. And I was like, because it was really quiet. And I was like, oh man, I know what this is. I've been in like 3 tornadoes. I'm like, oh shit. No, not in this area, dude. Like, so we ended up, they came downstairs and said, guys, come downstairs. We had nowhere to go. We're in an old jail that has open windows and you know how it is. So we go underneath some stairs and I'm like trying to call my mom and I'm like, come here. We filmed all of this too, by the way. I have it on film. And I was like, Chris, are you not scared? He's like, yeah, no. Like, if I die, I lived a really good life, man. Like, you know how he is. And I'm like, you're a piece of shit. I'm not right now, dude. Like, what? This is our first time ever meeting, investigating, and everything.
Mhm.
And then, so if that wasn't scary enough, we then chilled out, whatever. The sirens went off. Tornado hit a couple miles away from us. We were upstairs on the 2nd floor. And we were just sitting there, just collecting our minds and our thoughts and trying to calm down. It's quiet. All of a sudden, I'm in the corner somewhere with my partner. Chris is right by the door and there's stairs right by him, right? All of a sudden, you hear what sounds like a ladder. It sounded like somebody took a ladder, a big man, and just took it and just went boom, 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 boom. Me and my partner literally almost jumped out the window.
My anus would have fallen out of my fucking ass. Like, everywhere
Chris-
on the floor. Everywhere on the floor.
Like, and I'm like, you didn't move. What are you doing? You weirdo. He's like, yeah, I didn't know what to do. I'm like, he was a statue. I have the aftermath. I do not have that on video, but we went outside. Of course, we cleared the place. We went outside and Chris was like, yeah, I'm ready to go home. He's like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean, dude? Like, this is why we're here. And he's like, yeah, no, I'll go back right now. Okay, that was, and then we actually had set up tents on that 2nd floor. He set up a tent, excuse me. I had an air mattress right by the door where it happened. And we heard stuff all night until the morning. And he was in a tent by himself.
Oh my God.
We never did. Caleb and I, we did Pine Lawn.
Mhm.
So we were actually the first group that actually stayed overnight at Pine Lawn. Every other group had gotten run out. So we were there the day after Adam and Addie filmed their Resident Undead episode.
Nice.
So, and I mean, shit was stupid. Shit was absolutely stupid. But Holly, craziest paranormal experience that I know you're newer to it, but you've got to have
not
some
newer,
stuff
just
that's
newer
like,
to Lisa's group.
Oh, okay,
so like,
okay,
I
gotcha.
feel bad telling stories with other people or whatever. But okay, so I'll show you this. I am big on evidence that I didn't know that I had, that I see after or hear after.
That's the best.
So here's this photo, typical 3 photo taken. I don't know how well you can see.
What we'll do, I'll have you send it to me, and
Okay.
I will stack it into this video.
Okay, to me, it's a
39 minutes
full
in.
shadow child right here. There was nobody else there. I took 3 photos. She's not in the other ones.
Okay.
Where is this at?
That's at McIntyre Villa.
Okay.
I want to go so bad.
And then I got what I thought, which I'm sure this is taboo, but I was in the basement in the kitchen with Doris at Randolph, and I thought that, and I had brand new people with me that were terrified, so I was like, let's start with Doris. She's friendly, like, and we had been talking about her favorite foods, and she's interacting with equipment, stuff like that, and so I'm like, I'm going to start recording and ask questions, and I tell them to just tell me whatever they want. Just quiet record first, then I'll ask questions. So, of course, I don't know any of it's happening until after I play it back. And literally, it was fine. And then what sounds like a mess hall, like, because the 2 cafeterias are right off of the kitchen. It sounds like we're in a mess hall, and we were the only ones there. And then all of a sudden you hear, now get out, like right next to my face. And I'm just like, oh, apparently we weren't talking to Doris. And so now the people that are with me are terrified and don't want to ever go back downstairs. So,
That's gross.
And then probably the last one was, we were at Fairfield. I was with Lisa and her old partner. It's probably this exact same first meeting time. I didn't know anything about spirit guides or guardian angels besides, what you hear in the stories, not like, and I'm under Estes and I don't hear very well. So I'm at Lisa and her ex-partner tell me to use Necro, try Necro instead, maybe make a better connection. And I did. So my friend Kaylee that was there with me, and then those 2 are in the morgue, and I'm under Estes, and I'm answering questions, and I'm not wanting to because it's emotionally affecting me. I can tell that whatever is trying to talk to them is really talking to me. I know this, and I'm thinking, what are they getting? What are they asking? Because the way this person or whatever is answering, it sure feels like it's talking directly to me. And so finally I come out of the headphones because I'm about to just start bawling because of what's being said. And I come out of the headphones and take the blindfold off, and the 3 of them are just bawling in front of me. And I'm like, what happened? What's going on? Because I'm thinking something happened. And they're like, we don't know. We don't know who we were talking to, but we were talking to somebody that had messages just for you. And so then I get chills right now because it apparently was some form. It was talking to me about a lost child that no one that was there with me knew anything about. And it just literally still is spine chilling to this day that something in that moment felt the need to come through as a spirit guide, as a guardian angel, as whatever, and thought that I needed to hear those things in that moment. And so to me, that just blows my mind.
So that gives me goosebumps.
It's always stories like that because like I've heard of, I either heard about that from someone else at Fairfield or I've heard of stories similar, and it always seems that stuff like that happens when you almost need it the most, if that makes sense. Like when you're going through something or you're just having one of those days and it's like for a lot of people, like paranormal investigating is kind of like a nice release from like the day to day, and then
it's my
something
vacation.
batshit crazy. Yeah, exactly. Something crazy comes through, or something that really like hits you emotionally, and you're like, damn, like that, and then it makes you kind of question like. Like where does this actually exist at, like on what level? Because it has to have like and obviously we don't have to get into it, but it's like on what level does it know what you went through? Because if not a whole lot of people know, like how does it specifically know that? And if people are asking questions and the responses are directed towards you, but it hits closer to you over something traumatic that happened like that.
And for example,
that gives me chills just thinking about it. I just
met Lisa and her partner at the time. They did not know me. My friend Kaylee that was with me, she I had no idea because this was in my previous marriage. It's what ended the marriage. And she has been a friend with the new one, so she had no idea. It's not something I readily talk about. It does make me question, like why it came through at that time. But I'm also the more, I don't know. I asked one lady at Medium once what she thought about deja vu. And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, well, I constantly have these dreams. And so she starts asking me these questions about, do you go forwards in your dreams or do you go back? Blah, blah, blah. Are you above? Whatever. And she's like, I don't think it's deja vu for you. She's like, and keep in mind, to each their own. This is her own opinion. It's my own feeling. She's like, I think you're a dream walker. Well, it's so funny because there is a speakeasy by what's it called? The other jail, the one in Indiana.
Hartford City.
Blackford County Jail.
Yep.
No. And there's like
It did,
2 blocks
Blackford
away.
City.
Where
Yeah,
John
and I was there
Dillinger
with a different group, and I didn't even know there was a speakeasy. It was a surprise to us that were on the investigation that they were going to walk us over there. And I walk in, and I'm friends with the guy that I was with the group, and he's like, you look really weird. Are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I've just been here before. And he's like, no, we're the first ones to tour the group, tour. And I'm like, I can tell you which way we're going to turn and what we're going to see, to the point where we're under Estes. And I just asked, I'm not under Estes, somebody else is. And I said, do you miss the piano? And the spirit talking to me is like, yeah, I miss the piano. It sat right here. That's just it. I was there in a time when the piano sat right there. Nobody else knew that except for the people that owned the building, that were like, yeah, when we took over, the piano was still sitting there. And so I'm just like, that stuff blows my mind too, of all these different parallel lines in the universe. Are we really all just living in our own time frame still and jumping in between? Like, so it's just stuff like that I can't explain, that makes me want to do it more and more and more.
That is really crazy.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on, deja vu. I've always thought it's almost like a parallel universe.
Mm-hmm.
You're at the right place at the right time, that you've seen something, you've been and it's just like those lines colliding.
Yeah.
It just throws it off.
I just
Man.
had something hit my face. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it's deja vu hitting you.
It's probably a spider.
Stop.
It's a ghost that you forgot to tell.
It was
So,
a fly or something.
now is the time that Olivia has been waiting for.
I'm so excited.
I would love for you guys to tell us what happened at the Fairfield County Infirmary when you guys did your event last week.
Wow.
I am very excited. Caleb hasn't heard this.
Yeah, I didn't want to know the details.
Caleb
until we
says
got
that
you on.
Fairfield is his favorite place he's ever investigated. It's still Fairfield, right? Yeah.
Well-
He says it's his favorite place he's ever investigated. And I'm sure that he's going to love hearing this, because I thought what happened to y'all was pretty fucked up.
This
So.
makes,
Well, I also to
Caleb,
preface
this
that
makes
we were
what
there
happened
2
to
weeks.
us sound like
Sorry.
blah.
Hey, they're the guests, Olivia. Shut up.
Sorry.
Well, we were there 2 weeks
Continue.
Preparing
And
in
it-
school.
too. So like, I feel like it was just ramping up ready for us. Like, because it was crazy.
Think about it.
Mhm.
You guys didn't
Yeah.
really get because you guys were downstairs, but prior to what happened to us was I had some friends there. They bought some tickets to come out. I hadn't seen them in 2.5 years. I ran into them. Their name's Ghost Bros. They're on YouTube. They were there and they're like, show us your ways. The one time that they actually, when we ran into each other, we were overbooked and that's how we met each other. They were telling me, because what happened when I was under Estes with somebody, like my old company had just started and we told them that's who we were, but we weren't doing an event. It was just an accidental private meshed, right? So, one of their partners went under Estes, and then all of a sudden, his late brother, who had just passed, maybe I don't know what the story was, didn't ask, didn't know, came through, and he quit doing paranormal investigating after doing that Estes messed with us.
Understand.
So then, like the
Which-
Ghost Bros, the guys that
Point out that that's 2 Estes sessions with Lisa, that the same past family member comes through with information. So at Fairfield. So is there a correlation?
yeah, I don't. It was
sound like it sounds like you're the correlation, Lisa. you're the conduit for apparently
She's
crazy
bringing
shit.
Someone together.
So next time you're at Fairfield, let us know, and we want some crazy shit to happen.
Like their friend quit. They met up with me at our events, right? The two guys. There was multiple of them when we first met. They're like, "Hey, remember when you made what's his name quit 2.5 years ago?" And I'm like, "I didn't do anything. I didn't know anything. I didn't know you guys from anything." And then they're like, "Well, he started up again. He's just not at this one." I'm like, "All right, cool. Let me show you guys something." And they're like, "Oh fuck." I'm like, so I took him upstairs, no equipment. No, I said, no equipment, nothing. If you want to bring cameras, cool. I'm a really big believer. I love equipment. Don't get me wrong. It always fucks up though a lot. Like they always mess with you, right? So I have to think on my, on my toes if I have a group full of people, right? So I said, don't bring anything. Bring your camera. Bring yourselves. All right. So we're going to sit down, and we sit down, in the asylum. You're looking at the chicken coop, right? I said, I
Where
want
she
you guys
is
to do me a
terrified.
favor. She did it the weekend before at the Haunted Ravens event. So we sat there. I said, I just want you to look. See that little silhouette of the window? You guys probably know what I'm talking about. If you're looking at the chicken coop and you're all the way far back. And they're like, all right. I said, let me know what you see. And I started talking. Hey, spirits, I know you guys are here. Could you do me a favor? All of that stuff. All of a sudden, you just see shoulders and heads peeking out. And they're like, what the actual fuck is going on up here? We heard footsteps. We heard there was two. Olivia, I remember we saw three, but there was two. There was like a shorter one. There was a really tall one just peeking out. And so my friends, Ghost Bros, they've done over 90 events or 90 locations. And I got to send film too. And they were like, I really thought that was bullshit when people would see things. That is the first time I've ever seen anything. And the one other guy, he was just shitting his pants the whole time.
It's almost like a guarantee down that hallway.
Well, and that's what I do.
Because
Like,
it's
I don't
always
like
insane.
people, but I know in that attic I'm going to see shadow people. It never fails.
Say the last time we were there, me and James were downstairs and we were hearing something on the men's side, and you guys were up in the attic. Remember we separated, and that's when you guys were seeing all kinds of crazy shadows, and you were like, "Just sit down." And I'm like, I didn't get to see it, but you guys were all freaked out by the time we got up there.
Because then you came downstairs to where me, Holly, and the girls were, and you guys, because the guys were leaving, and you were explaining what you guys saw, and so then we went up there. It was
actually, she made me pop quiz answer the boys what happened 2 weeks ago when we were there, what I saw upstairs, and it matched like identical. I didn't know what I was even looking for, and she said, "Yeah, just tell them what you saw." And the faces of them going, "Oh my god, she saw the same thing. She wasn't even up there. She hasn't even talked to Lisa. This isn't a setup." It was crazy.
So that happened. I didn't get to really tell you guys because we were all investigating like separately or whatever. Then the guy left, and then
there were two ladies left, and the five of us went up to the attic first, and we lined up a row of three and then two chairs, and we're just watching these figures, and then all of a sudden a third one pops up where we have like the window blocked off with like the square board. We're watching a third figure. We're watching something crawl. We're hearing people like walk at us. It's like, hey, where are you?
Crawling is so
footsteps
gross.
like corresponding with where we would ask to make a noise, and you would hear a footstep where you just saw like it corresponded. It was so
well. And the other lady did have like her spirit talker on, or some type of talker app on her phone, and that was even correlating because Lisa and Olivia were like, no, there's two, and then the other one's like, oh no, there's three, and then the talker app's like 3, and I'm like, oh okay, well thank you for confirming.
Cool.
Also,
thanks for making me want to throw up.
That we've been together at. When people are under Estes, we have had like accurate number counting. It's like, oh, what comes after 4? And it's 5. What's between 8 and 10? 9. Or like
I'm so proud of you
last
that you
week,
can count.
I had to think really hard.
I'm so proud of you.
I actually said it right because I thought maybe it was wrong.
Yeah.
Continue.
But no, it was interesting. But we took a break and we went down to the jail cell on 3. The jail cell, for people listening or watching, it's on the women's side on the very end of the hallway. It's the very last room on the left-hand side, has the door. So we
I hope you guys say your favorite part, because if not, I'm going to interrupt.
I will
favorite
tell
part.
one thing, Olivia. I've been to Fairfield probably 40 times and investigated it tons of times.
Mhm.
I have only ever had one thing happen in the jail cell. One thing. And
Oh, I
it
don't know
wasn't
that
even
this is
in
happening
if it
in the
was,
jail.
wasn't even in the jail cell or even really like on that side. It was something I was hearing a child play outside and
In the
Patience
hallway.
was like, "Oh, no, like literally outside."
Oh,
I
Oh,
heard like a child giggling and playing, and Patience was like, "You should go check and make sure that that's not Atticus." And I said, "Patience, it is 2 in the fucking morning."
yeah.
And second
Oh,
of
yeah.
all,
go check.
absolutely not. I am not walking down that hallway by myself to go outside to see if there's a child playing outside. Get out of here.
Definitely could be Atticus.
Oh,
Yeah.
patience.
Yeah. But continue, Olivia.
Holly, what's your favorite part? I'm confused.
Well, okay. Well, we're in the jail cell.
Is it
okay?
the questionable snow globe?
The
Oh.
question? No, that's gross.
Okay.
The snow globe was gross. I feel like it was a sperm snow globe. It's very weird. I don't know what's
It's-
happening. I don't
it's
know
a
what would
sperm
have
globe.
made it. It doesn't have
Barf.
snow in it anymore. It just has molecular goo floating around. It's gross.
So, anyways, your favorite
Gross.
part?
My favorite part is that right before all this like right before the bass noises start, her Spirit Talker app says attic. And she says, yeah, we probably still have time to go to the attic. Just let's finish down here. I personally think that it was warning us of what was about to happen.
They did
didn't
warn
want-
us.
Wanted us to go there, but I think it was like, no, we up here. Like, you about to
So-
hear us.
What? So what happened? Let's hear it from your guys' perspective.
Everybody's tired. My guests were almost falling asleep. There were troopers, by the way. The one was like 6-7 months pregnant.
Mhm.
All of a sudden,
And
we're
we-
just
Impressive.
John and the June bugs were attacking us, so we were definitely troopers.
the pregnant girl. She was asking questions. She did amazing for being that pregnant and it being 3:30 in the morning. So she's like, I'm seeing something come down the hallway. She's just like peeking her head out of the cell, right?
Like, no fear.
And then all of a sudden, okay, if you want to tell us a little bit better, because I was just more of safety of everybody.
Well, we were all sitting around the table and we were just being quiet, and the one lady, she had her spirit the spirit box, she just like had that running, and I thought I heard noises in the hallway, and I was like, hey, did you guys hear that? And we all get quiet, and then it was just, and I'm like, I know you guys heard that one. So the lady that had that running, she really was a trooper. Like,
Yeah.
she was killing it. But no, so she's standing in the doorway, and it's like we're standing in the doorway. She's like seeing figures and this and that down the hallway. Spirit box is just like running through like all these different things. And then I forget if it said aggressive. And I'm like, we're standing, I think you were at the door at this point too, Lisa, and it said aggressive, and then we hear footsteps, what sounds like on our floor, on the 3rd floor, come towards us. And then it just instantly went from like 3rd floor to the ceiling or like the 4th floor, and it just, so we were confused. So then the lady's like, are you on the ceiling? And like there was no answer. So then it fizzles out, and then all hell breaks loose on the 4th floor.
It just sounded like a man. Why? I don't know why, but it sounded like a man.
Like if Adam was up there walking around.
Yeah, we heard
Yes.
footsteps.
Full
So
swagger,
so that
full swagger too.
I was hearing. We were all hearing the same thing. I know I wasn't going crazy. We were all reacting the same way. I was Holly and the other guest. I said, get up. I'd like start recording. My big thing is record. Like,
And
Well,
me
my
and
thing
Lisa
is
didn't
the
have our
jail
phones
cell
on
door
us.
entryway is only so big, so it wasn't that the other lady and I weren't interested. We wouldn't have been able to see anything because the 3 of them were like
Yeah.
in that
So
door.
we're like, get over here. You guys need to
Yeah.
listen.
record.
But right before we pulled those 2 over, we heard walking and like faint whispering, like talking. No, it wasn't whispering because it was upstairs. Like you can
It
hear
was
it.
like
It was
mumble.
talking. And
Like-
Lisa and I are just like looking at each other like, and then we turned and looked at each other because it was just like a, it was like this like weird growl. And at this
It was
point, we're
growl.
like holding each other's arm and we're like,
It
you're
sounded
hearing this,
like
I'm
a,
hearing
like a,
this.
like a large
She's-
animal purring is what
she's-
you just did.
It was. I actually got that on film. I think I told you, Olivia. Like I got the same. Like in that same area, we weren't inside. We were just at the end of the hallway, just investigating. And the same. I have it on video. Like I heard the same growl. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, and
I love it.
I don't know if I'm
But-
still here because mine says reconnecting, but the one lady's
You're there.
recording also
You're
got
good.
the growl because we played it for Adam and he heard it too.
Ugh.
Gross.
It
We-
sounded like a person that had my brain when I have guests or anybody is, I don't know if it's my trait, whatever it is. I was just like, all right, safety. Like there's a person up there. Like it doesn't go
But
two.
it's like
It's like 1, 2. Things are moving. People are talking. 1, 2, 3,
it
4,
just
5.
it intensified to the point where it's like it went from pacing to like boom 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 to scattered walking to a conversation that you're hearing happen to like a few little things like sliding, like moving.
Moving. Yes.
Yeah, it's like it was like
For something.
it was like boom 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 shh boom 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 boom.
Yeah.
I don't know what
So
they can hear, so
we-
let's try to do all the things.
Yeah. So it's like the guests are like they weren't like freaked because they thought it was cool, but it's enough to where it's like, oh, because earlier in the night we were discussing like, you know, locations always are no matter what are going to have people that unfortunately break into them and trespass and etc. And that was like a topic of conversation earlier, and so
Which is so
girls
were
were
crazy that-
asking, and
because it was the guys talking to us up in the attic, just me, you, and the two guys. They were in Estes in the chicken coop, so they don't even know that he was questioning us about people breaking in.
I didn't know about that.
So the lady, you know, didn't even know that conversation
Oh.
had happened.
That is
Oh.
true.
But so they're like, is it a possibility? And I wanted to say no because all the doors are locked besides the back door, which is locked when we're all inside. But like we had to use like the porta potty outside and we were going in and out and we were walking around the whole property trying to find food. And so it's like in the back of my head, I'm like,
Scavenging.
did somebody somehow get in? Did somebody somehow get in a door? Something like that we didn't see. I don't know. But I was like, I don't feel comfortable saying no. I want to think it's paranormal, but I have not heard activity so distinct and footsteps so loud and voices and conversation
Well, yeah, that's
that
like-
clear to the point where I'm starting to get convinced. So
Because
we're
your brain
talking and
wants
Lisa's
to,
like,
to
okay,
know that there's somebody
you're-
not in there.
yeah.
Mhm.
And Lisa's like, okay, well, to the ladies, it was like, you two are gonna be like the first out. Like I was like, we're right by the fire escape hatch. Like it's just stairs that go outside. I'm like, we can go out this if we don't feel comfortable to like walk down the big stairs. And she's like, you two go first. Like you're pregnant. Like you're gonna go out first. Like you gotta be protected. Just in
This was
case.
not a friendly
Yeah.
conversation.
And so
This was not as slow as Olivia is saying.
Mhm.
It was like, we don't
well,
care if you go, you're
it was
going.
like, yeah.
It was
But
chaos.
she it's like we didn't know what was going on, so we
Mhm.
get them to the door, and no sooner do they get over by the door, Holly's like, what's going on, because she's confused, and
Holly
then the
is
other
deaf.
girl that she's with is
I
like,
heard
are we
about
going out,
that.
are we going out? And all of a sudden you just hear, and we were like, nope, get the
Yep.
fuck out, you guys out, down, pull the door shut, get the fuck out.
Yep.
So we're on the phone, like I'm like, call Adam.
And
We
I'm
get Adam
trying.
on the phone
Call
finally,
Adam.
and we're
Trying
like,
to talk
Adam,
to
can
you.
you check the
Call.
camera? And Adam's like, I'll check. Give me 1 second. So the girls get in their car.
20 in the morning.
Like we go inside, and we're like, oh, let's clear this building. We get back up on 3 because we wanted to see if we heard it before we go up to 4, and we hear the same shit again. And so I'm texting Adam. I'm like, do you see anything on the camera? He's like, no, nothing's up there.
The
And-
craziest thing about that, like the sounds that you guys were hearing on 4, for me, like, I feel like it would be more likely of someone breaking into the building if you guys were hearing it on like 1 or 2.
Yeah, that's like
And
the weird thing.
when we were talking, Olivia was talking to me about it because I was in Georgia earlier this week and she was filling me in on what happened. I was like, for someone to make it up to 4,
Right.
you would have seen them walk up the stairs. Now, unless they took
Well,
that front
depending
hallway.
on what time they came
That's
in.
what I
and
thought,
if they
but I
were
thought in my
just,
mind,
like
one,
moving around
what,
throughout the night to
staircase?
avoid us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But it's like,
I get
okay,
what you guys are saying, but
in
like
my mind, it's like, what if we were all outside and they got in and just went up the staircase?
Right.
I mean, I don't even like to
don't
go
know.
into like creepy buildings like during the day. Like,
That's fair.
and people are like, I'm gonna break into this building with all these cars in the parking lot.
Fuck that.
Like, that's
But it's
people are
Yeah.
weird.
All I
I
can
so
think
we're
think
all
about.
hearing it. But Lisa, you brought up a good point, and it was like a little experiment. Like we had no weapons, but we had a big old flashlight.
Show them.
In the car.
Show them.
And so she's like, okay, well, if it's a ghost and I bang on this door, I don't
Continue.
know if it'll like scare a spirit. But if it's a human, like they'd stop. And it got really quiet after she did it. Then it started like faintly hear the footsteps and stuff. And we were like, I don't want to go upstairs just in case. I'm texting Adam and I was like, all right, like I don't see anything. But also some of the cameras weren't even working either. So he's like, I'm going to come in.
But that was my
So
thing.
Adam
is
comes in.
They were working until he finally came over, and then he's like, I don't get this. It's glitching now. It won't let me look at
It's
it.
weird.
Yep.
It was
So weird.
weird. But so Adam comes in and he comes up the fire escape. We let him in, so he just walks right in on 3. And he immediately goes upstairs. And of course, it stops when Adam comes in the building. So we're like, oh my god, we woke poor Adam out of his sleep at oh
Oh, bye.
no, did she lose connection?
She should be able to join back in with the same link.
Yeah.
I'm still just thinking about how crazy it is that all this is going on, and you're like, "Hey, extremely pregnant girl, test out these stairs on the fire escape before."
Oh
we
no,
go
it was
down there."
safe.
They were safe. They
You
were
like,
safe.
I don't want to be the first one
They
down
were
these stairs,
safe.
so let's send the pregnant lady.
Yeah,
They
it
were
was
safe.
even like they're safe. Like that was
Oh,
just
I've
my.
been up them. I've just
Yeah,
come to give you shit.
I just wanted them out of there. And that is the first time that I ever called a location owner and had them come clear a building because I've done it myself.
Mhm.
But that's the first time in several years that I've been in a building or held an event that I had to call somebody to come clear. I didn't have typically I do have a weapon, but I didn't have my car. My weapon's in my car. So I just didn't feel that I could protect everybody all at once. I don't know if that's like my military thing, but I was like, get the F out. Like, bye.
Yeah.
The scary part about
That
it
was
is
wild.
Yeah, we did Old Hospital.
after you've cleared it
Was
and
it
you
me
realize
and
it's
Mark?
not
Or me and you?
It was me and you.
Yeah, we had to sweep the whole building. And I had like a 2x4 that I found walking
Yeah.
around.
Yep.
I don't know where she went.
As
So,
we were saying before, we
lost
had some
Holly
technical
to
difficulties.
connection issues. However,
Yeah.
we are going to have you guys both back on soon. But
Awesome.
long story short, to end the story, is Adam cleared the whole building. No human, no signs of a human.
Shout
Paranormal.
out to Adam Kimmel.
He's the fucking
The
man.
man. He checked
I-
every single staircase, every single room, every single door. But the weird thing, though, is when he came in on the 3rd floor, he immediately went up to the 4th floor to check that one first. Him walking sounded the exact same as the
Exactly.
walking that we heard. It
Gross.
was like,
Exactly the same.
but then part of me is like, not like a mimicry thing, but it's, I don't know. It was like this weird, like, what if it's just like someone like wanted to be like Adam walking? And it was like weird.
I feel like it was a mimic.
Like,
I
it
feel
was
like
like-
I don't know. It was wild,
It
man.
was the exact same, like,
I mean, you think
It
that
was
Adam's
Adam.
in there probably more than anybody, so that's a
Exactly.
noise
That
they
is
hear
true.
all the time. So if like they're going to be able to recreate something, it's going to be his noise.
Yeah,
It's the
his
same thing.
sounds.
Like if you hear a voice, it's going to be the most familiar voice.
Man.
but
It was great.
Yeah.
It was an experience. It's on my top 5 for
I drove 45 minutes home in complete silence. I was like,
crazy.
so am I sleep deprived? But I'm not hearing, like, I heard things, obviously, but like, I'm not like hearing things because 4 other individuals heard it. And it was
There she
Holly's
is.
back.
I don't even know. And here's the thing. I was here. I turned into a ghost. I heard about the dogs. I heard about Lisa's snacks. You guys just couldn't see me.
What?
What?
Like, I was here, and then it wouldn't let me back in. But I heard about I think he's got 2 dogs, and because I was sitting here thinking, well, I got 4 dogs. I'd love to show you, but I'm a ghost right now.
That's so funny. I am so sorry that you were kicked out. Apparently, our recording software gave
Ghosts
you the
were
boot.
like, nope.
Well, at least you were able to jump back on for the
Exactly.
last little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
We were just wrapping up.
I said how Adam cleared the building and there was no human, and when he was on 4, the footsteps sounded exactly like Adam.
Yeah, because I heard parts of that because I commented and said that the terrifying part is great. There was no human. That was terrifying. But then you sit back and think, but it was a ghost making that much noise.
That's what makes it worse. You're like, I would almost rather it be a person, because then you can be like, okay, that 100%
Yeah.
makes sense.
You can explain.
Yes.
Right.
But then,
I'm
But then
oh,
it's
fuck,
like, but
that's
then when we
super
heard
scary.
the conversation and like the very scattered footsteps, it's like, was it 2? Was it 3? Was it 4? I don't
Probably
know.
was the 3 that
We
were
couldn't
having
see.
the party upstairs earlier.
How
It was
like
that that building is just ramping
Bingo.
up.
I feel
Like,
like
it
every
seems
time
like
I go, it's just
been
Because wasn't
more
it like a
activity.
full moon that weekend too, though?
I don't know.
Thought
There's no way it was a full moon, even though it looked that
There it
way.
is.
Because we had that same conversation with Drew the 2 weekends before that he was like, it looks
That's
like
fair.
full moon. And we're like, nope, the full moon was the weekend before that. So every time we're there, it looks like a full moon, but the full moon has already happened. I don't understand.
Well,
That's just Lancaster.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. We want to film a video with you two at FCI.
That would be
Hopefully
amazing.
Soon. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
we're
Let's do
we're
it.
So much
definitely
fun.
we're definitely looking to try to do some more collabs with some other groups, and some other people out there. We do
Awesome.
this for fun, just like you said that you do. We do this for fun. It's a fun little hobby. We get to meet super cool people, and it's a fun little break from the normal day to day of
It's a
normal
fun little
work.
stressful, terrifying break of a vacation.
People always tell me, they're like, you
Accurate.
willingly go into these buildings to be scared. And I said, sometimes not willingly, but pretty much yes.
Mhm.
But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for jumping on. Holly, I'm sorry we lost you for like 5 minutes.
But it's okay.
It
'cause
just
you
shows
guys
that
will
ghosts are
definitely-
real, because I was here.
That is true. You guys will definitely be back. on
Watch,
this
you're probably
podcast.
going to show up in like the post editing, because everything shows on our screen much lower quality. So you're probably going to be there. You're just going to be like off in the corner.
Yeah, well, you're going to
True.
see my face, and you're going to see me getting irritated when it wouldn't let me back in, but I could still hear you guys. And
Which is so weird that you were still able to hear
it was
us.
so weird, because even the like background noise that I know wasn't here at my house, well, I don't think it was, but like I could hear like background noise of like a thump or like the dog or whatever, even when you weren't talking, but yet I could see nothing.
So weird.
And
Gonna come up.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
both of them
anyway.
did.
But
But-
I love this. This has been great. I was terrified, but
Perfect.
this was
No,
wonderful.
you
fun.
guys did great. I mean, it was awesome, and thank you guys for jumping on last minute. We appreciate you guys taking time out of your day. So with all that being said, Shadow Sessions fam, this has been another episode, another podcast episode.
We
Please,
have all the links for Lisa and Holly
They'll
from
be below.
Mystic Haunts. Go to their events. I recommend.
Show them
They're
some
very,
love.
very, very fun, and maybe one of these crazy experiences can happen to you.
and also is going to be our link tree for all of our merch. We have a big trip that we're planning in August, and Olivia has to pay for it. So please buy some merch to help support
I'm a
Olivia.
I'm a broke college kid, guys. Sorry.
To help support Olivia. But again, if you made it to the end of this video, we appreciate all of you. Thank you guys for sticking around. Give Mystic Haunts a follow.
Thank
Everyone's
you.
super happy and cheering. But with that being said, thank you guys. And this has been another episode of Shadow Sessions Paranormal. Thank you guys.
Bye.